People don't realise how superstitious you are, though, do they?
Hundreds of superstitions, but I try not to let anyone know them in case they laugh at us. The other day I threw a towel down and I looked at the towel and it shouldn't have been in the position that I wanted it. So I went back and put it in the position, walked away, and I thought it was better the way it was. And he has me for 20 minutes trying to put this towel right the way it should be. I try and stop these daft things because I think I drive people mad, but this thing with the towel the other day drove me balmy. I walked away from it and I went back. And I tried to get out the door and shut the door, and I just kept on thinking of it. I end up straightening up the towel again.
What sort of reception are you expecting in Italy?
Front desk, a couple of people working behind it. Same as pens on the reception. We have a passport.
One ugly person in it.
That's when I was 18. Look, very ugly. Fine head of skin.
Gazza, welcome.
July 1992, and after more than a year of injury, drama and doubt, Paul Gascoigne finally arrived in Italy. For the fanatical fans of Lazio Football Club, it had been a long wait, and they were impatient to welcome their new hero.
You know, the Italians are mad for football, and they wanted to be with us. They wanted the touches, they wanted autographs, they wanted everything, you know. And then sometimes it gets to the stage where you need a rest from it.
Noi quando l'abbiamo preso, capirai, sembrava che veniva Gesù Cristo, invece ancora stiamo aspettando il Messia.
Gazza sta nel nostro cuore, aspettiamo che con ansia il suo rientro. Perché Gazza è tutto della Lazio.
Come esce Gascoigne la Lazio smorzi la luce, rappresenta quando smorzi la luce, non vedi più niente.
Pure con una gamba sola Gazza a questi si incarta tutti, detto alla romana. Cioè lui con una gamba sola, col bastone è ancora più bravo di tutti. Troppo forte. Forza Gazza!
4.5 hours sleep I had last night.
Why do you reckon? You're not getting any kick.
No. Must be the excitement of all the sun I've got ahead of us. Just laughing at the headlines there, it was funny. It says Gascoigne now, holiday finished. Training, when I first went there, I thought it might have been easy a little bit, but it started off very, very hard. 1, 2, miss a few, 6, 7. And then going to them test centres and doing tests, wired up, head wired up, heart wired up. It was incredible, you know. I think I'd be more wired up than a satellite dish. I forgot my football boots, I forgot my trainers, everything.
So when you said you hadn't brought anything with you, you weren't kidding,
No, I haven't brought nothing. Fitness test for Sancho's. I was doing like 5-minute laps. You know, run around for 5 minutes, stopping for a couple of minutes, run around for 5 minutes. You know, there were people when I was running that were slitting my finger and taking blood samples as I was running. And you know, I did thought like, oh, what's this all about, you know? I knew I'd heard it was hard and I thought it wasn't like this. But it had turned out to be like that.
you can't move feet when you touch the carpet. Okay. If you move your feet, it don't stop the time.
Oggi gambe? Bene? Meglio.
Lazio physio Roberto Farola supervised the final stages of Paul's return to fitness back in 1992. 2 years down the line, and events have turned full circle as Gazza recovers from yet another career-threatening injury.
Sai a L, 2. Sì, 2. Cambio 15, cambio le 3.
Sì, ma solo 20 minuti, non li tolgo.
Sì.
Poi come finisci te, finisce Mauro e facciamo gli addominali su.
Must be fairly sick and fed up though of rehabilitation, are you not?
Yeah, I mean it's now going on. It's been going on now for me for 3 years now, I think. 23, nearly 4 years.
Do you not sometimes think that maybe somebody up there doesn't like you?
I hope not. I'm only 27, so sometimes you get the feeling of that. Just unlucky, really. I just can't wait for January, that's all. It's hard work. I was trying to think a month ahead, you know, next step is hopefully a few weeks' time is running. Get me off the bike, you know.
Back in 1992, Paul was emerging from a serious knee injury, and a month of the season passed before Lazio decided he was fit enough to make his debut. Against Genoa, though, he was soon showing Serie A what he could do.
You get back from an injury like that, and it's amazing. All you need is, like, you're worried about your knee, and what you need is just need some guy to get you a whack. And I got one. And it hurt us, and when I got up, my knee took that. Yeah. And then I was pleased with that. That, you know, my knee took that. My knee now, touch wood, as strong as anything. I'm more worried about my left than the right now. My right is as strong as anything. Yeah. I just haven't proved it yet. I haven't played for about 3 years.
He'd survived the first big test, and Lazio and England began to see flashes of the old Gascoigne. Gascoigne was proving himself alongside the best in the world. After over a year on the sidelines, everyone was happy with his progress, not least Paul himself.
Things went good. Things went really, really good. I started to relax a bit better then. Thought I was back playing football regularly, and I was enjoying it. I was starting to enjoy the football part of it. The thing become relaxed. It was nice.
Paul was settling in, a new home, a new life, and courtesy of girlfriend Cheryl, a ready-made family, children Mason and Bianca. Professionally, things were looking just as good with club and country, but as his first Christmas in Italy approached, Gazza faced his biggest test yet.
Indubbiamente il derby è sempre una partita sentita da tutti, da tutta la città, dagli sportivi, quindi è una partita importante e indipendentemente dalla classifica uno tiene moltissimo a vincere.
I thought derbies were derbies, and I played in Arsenal, Tottenham derbies, Newcastle and Sunderland derbies. This thing's another thing. I was worried in case we didn't win. I got beat. Because people were talking about, you better win, you better win, you better win, this is our life, this is our life, we have to live here. The players put the shits up themselves so much, it's incredible. I think they make themselves nervous. Where I try and relax and joke before games, that takes the tension off me, where you get some of the players and they like seem all tensed up and that. It was just an unbelievable feeling. But I wasn't a feeling of good, I was a more feeling of like, thank God for that. You know? Thank God for that. God knows what happened if I'd have got the winner. Yeah, I was tears because not for anyone else, I was just the fear. The fear of just what would happen, you know. The lads were saying, oh, they'll do this, they'll do that. And I seen it. I seen it before. I seen Fiore's car I've seen him getting chased down the road, Fiore, of fans blocking him in and stopping him and wanting to fight with him. Zoff's car got battered, Diego's car got scratched and kicked and dented. If you love someone, if you love the team and all that, you don't actually do that. But because they're crazy on the football, you know, they'll do that.
The Lazio fans had a new hero, but as Gazza began to return to his best, an ill wind blew. The nation's opinion formers were outraged. How dare this English lout belch into the microphone of Italy's state broadcasters?
I've never speak to Rayo and anybody again that they know that anyway.
Well, it wasn't really their fault. I mean, you burped into their microphone.
Yeah, but he come and put the mic over my face. In fact, I only done it for a joke. But that's no problem. I mean, I took a little bit of stick for that.
No, non è stata assolutamente una cosa simpatica, io non l'ho presa assolutamente bene perché desidero dai miei ragazzi, dai miei giocatori la massima serietà.
Grande, voto 10 al rotino di Gascoigne, Maurizio 8, noi 10, fatto bene.
Se sta in silenzio stampa non capisco perché devono andare all'intervista, lo sapevano, perciò la colpa è del giornalista, non è certo sua.
The club may have had their doubts, but the fans were still behind Paul. And with good reason, he was still giving them plenty to cheer about. And as Italy got used to Gascoigne, he got used to Italy and an alien style of play.
You have to pull shirts because you don't tackle like each other like we do in England. And then they just bring you down. Where, yeah, they pull your shirt to stop you coming by. They say in Italy they have a lot more time and space. I tell you why they have a lot more time and space, because you're frightened to run and close them down. Because they've got defenders who can play centre forward or midfielder in England. Because they've got that much skill and composure on the ball that if you go and run, close them down, they'll just pass it off and say, go and run 25 yards there. You sprint 25 yards there and you just knock it off there.
If Paul was being closely marked on the pitch, it was nothing compared to the less welcome attentions of a Gazza-obsessed Italian press.
You go to nice restaurants, with chefs, and I'll go in them, and I know for a fact there's waiters from the restaurant ringing up the press straight away as soon as you come in.
The pressure was beginning to tell, and as England saw off San Marino in the World Cup qualifiers, it was all too apparent. The nation's greatest talent looked a dejected and lonely figure.
Gascoigne, in my opinion, is unhappy. And that's what happens to a lot of lads that go abroad. And he's trapped in it somehow, isn't he? He's trapped in it.
He's like a lead violinist and they need a little bit of pampering. And Lazio, they've taken a talent who's unique and they're trying to make him conform.
Strangely, the turning point came with another negative Gascoigne story. As the English tabloids crowed over Gazza's sending off in a Serie A fixture at Genoa, the Italian press applauded his reaction to the decision. No arguments, handshakes all round, and off he went. Suddenly, the belching lout was an English gentleman, and just as suddenly, Gazza's form took off. Against the mighty Milan, Gascoigne had his best game so far for Lazio. Not only was he playing well, but he rediscovered his eye for goal too, scoring in consecutive games. But everything was going too well, and at Wembley, a well-placed elbow from Holland's Jan Wouters smashed Gascoigne's cheekbone and ended his run of form.
He said he didn't mean to do it. I've got nothing bad against it. I've done silly things on the pitch and that, and I've accepted that. He rang Lazio a lot of times to apologise. I wasn't there at the time. I didn't take any of his calls, but it was still nice that he did ring Lazio.
Gascoigne was soon back on the field thanks to a typically bizarre solution to his facial injury. And the man in the mask finished the season in explosive form as Lazio stormed into the top 5, their best league placing in nearly 2 decades.
For me, I was pleased that Lazio hadn't been in UEFA for 15 years. And I don't know how long it was since they finished in the top 3 or 4. The first year we achieved that, both. So I was pleased on that behalf. I scored 5 or 6 goals. I could have scored more, and obviously I thought I could have played a lot better as well. Life was very, very difficult. Wherever I went, I had the press. Wherever main show went with the kids, they were there. They were at the coast. Every time I went to the beach, restaurants, and it got really, really ridiculous. And there was times where I did feel like turning around and going back.
The summer of 1993, and a whole nation looked on as England and Paul Gascoigne faced a fateful few days in Poland and Norway.
Get out of this. Come in.
Lazio just want to know whether you've got to wear your mask. Don't wear it in training, but wear it in a game, eh? Decent surface, isn't it?
Yeah. Are you playing this?
Nah. I think you've had too many Mars bars this week.
Oh. Come on, boss, players, man.
Nah, yeah, you're lucky to be here, son.
Please, players, didn't play that. Didn't play the other lad.
No, you're lucky to be here. You've got good feet, but you've got a up knee, up brain, and a up belly.
In Poland, Paul was substituted as England manager Graham Taylor looked for salvation in a desperate situation.
Come on, quality! Quality! In and out, there's only 2 in the box. You're in, righty! Yes!
A crucial point saved. But Taylor was in unforgiving mood as the press conducted the post-mortem on an unconvincing Gascoigne performance.
I think it's something that probably Paul will eventually or hopefully come to terms with, that as well as all the training that goes on, it's how you feed and how you refuel yourself, let's say, between training.
Obviously that's the one thing with Graham that upset me. I was sorry at that time, it was something I didn't need. But he spoke to me afterwards and he said what he'd done, and it wasn't too good when it was in the papers, sort of thing, but I realised what pressure he was under. Nobody understands what it's like to be in his position or my position until you're actually in that position.
In Norway, Taylor risked the refuel Gazza, but this time there was no salvation for England or Paul.
Yes, we are, yeah. But not playing the ball at all. But I mean, where's Gascoigne? Where is Gascoigne?
Come on, Gazza!
Come on, Paul! Come on, Paul!
My mood wasn't too good. I don't think I was up to the games as much as I should have been. When you look at that game, I think everyone played bad. There was only a few of them who played good. I didn't play good at all. But another thing that really pissed myself off was the fact is I was bought from Tottenham as a midfield player. Right. And I was at Lazio as a midfield player. All of a sudden, for no reason, I get stuck behind the front 2. That's not my position, and that's another thing that will happen this year, and will happen anywhere I go, and it will happen when I get back to England as well. I will be a centre midfield player. If I'm not picked to play centre midfield for England, then I won't play. It's as simple as that, because I've got to look after myself now. I always seem to do things for people and never look after myself. And eventually, at the end of it, I get depressed, I get down, and afterwards I say, why didn't I have the balls to say something? And I've like, no, I won't let that happen. When I come back to Lazio now, when he says play behind the front two, I'll say, sorry, I'm not going to play behind the front two, because that's not my position.
For Paul, things got even worse. Jane Nottage, his former personal assistant, released a book about him, and her allegations of mental illness proved the ultimate betrayal of trust.
The thing is, the first 2 years I've took notice of people I shouldn't have. She spoke Italian, that's the only reason we did it, and she knew her way around.
5 million, it was a great bargain, wasn't it? It was 5 million, it was $2.5 grand a month, wasn't it?
Which worked out at 24 grand.
25,
maybe 30 grand a
yeah,
month.
30 grand a year.
30 grand a year.
The swimming pool, you mean?
With a swimming pool, yeah. The
Well,
gates and all that.
If somebody hadn't slugged you in Newcastle, you'd be there now.
Someone had to what?
Slugged you in Newcastle, you'd be there, wouldn't
What do you mean?
Well, it was the second. So if you hadn't had that injury in September, then you'd be there now. Because we're looking at it August, weren't we, to take it for the year.
Who's in it now?
Sold.
Does a guy not want to rent it out?
Busy living there.
People think they can just come into your private life, turn it upside down, and walk out again. And every time we were asking for help, she was writing it down on a book and writing books.
You presumably didn't know at the time?
I didn't know. So all this time we were asking for help, she wasn't giving any help and just writing down a book. And things didn't work out too well from that as well.
There is a fantastic one that they wanted to take you to, the one they wanted to take you to this afternoon, a tennis court, swimming pool and everything. It's one of the most beautiful villas in Rome, but it's like 7 grand a month. Now you could probably get that down to 5 grand a month.
And where's that?
It's like this area.
Can we look at it now?
Well, I know, because they said it was too expensive.
Who did?
Yeah, we can go and see it next Tuesday or Wednesday. I told Milan, yeah.
It's my money.
Well, then in that case, I'll ring them up and then we'll make another point to go and see it next Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday or Wednesday.
Then we can get them down, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll see.
Get them down. We can't get them down below 5 grand a month.
People say, oh, why don't you mix with people? I can't trust anyone. Especially after this Jane Nottage thing. I find it very, very, very hard to trust people, you know? That making friends, because you say something, next day it's in the papers.
A new season began and Paul's insecurities intensified when Lazio's club doctor immediately complained to the press about the English star's physical condition.
I wasn't definitely not 8 kilos overweight. I thought a couple of people, like the doctors, especially I was upset with Bartolini, that the fact he couldn't wait to get to the press to tell him. I don't know why he had to speak to the press. He had no call in talking to the press. Last season for 2 years I let Lazio say a lot about me and me not saying nothing to the papers. There's 2 in this game and we need to work together. And if someone's saying something against the other, now I have to stick up for myself. I was not over 8 kilos and he had no reason whatsoever going to the papers and talking about whether I was underweight or overweight.
Gazza fought back with England, but in Italy, where he didn't complete a game for 3 months, the focus returned again and again to the weight question.
Perché anche l'anno scorso, quando si presentò qui alla Lazio, era molto ingrassato, il sovrappeso veniva dall'infortunio, ma fa parte del personaggio Gascoigne, questa vita sempre sopra le righe, al di fuori delle regole.
È chiaro che un Gazza che si presentasse in condizioni ottimali sempre farebbe la fortuna della Lazio. In questo modo invece qualcuno gli può anche rimproverare qualche cosa, anche perché è un calciatore pagato bene, di grande classe, un pizzico di attaccamenti in più non guasterebbe.
I don't know, I've been overweight every time I've turned up since I was 21 at Tottenham. If you look back at US Terry Venables, I turned up overweight, same thing, 8 or 9 pounds overweight. I didn't have any injuries then.
Se cala altri 10 kg gioca meglio, sicuramente.
Diciamo, in metà campionato io penso che Gascoigne sarà il massimo della forma.
E se non lo è?
Se non lo è inizierà una piccola contestazione, perché in fin dei conti sono sempre giocatori e professionisti, ripeto. guadagnano quello che guadagnano e sul campo devono dare quello che devono dare.
And Gazza wasn't delivering. And while Paul struggled, Lazio struggled, suffering a miserable run of form which culminated in their exit from the Italian Cup at the hands of 3rd Division Avellino. The crisis at club level was repeated on the international stage as England went out of the World Cup without Gascoigne.
Well done, Tony Adams. Don't lose it! That's it! That's good enough! Go on, Platty! Referee! Referee! Yes! Should be sent off! Should be sent off as well! Is he going to send him off? He's got to send him off! That! What are they being instructed? Koeman should have been sent off. It was a disgrace.
Yeah.
Then he goes up and scores the free kick.
Do you think we were unlucky not to go to the World Cup?
In a way, yeah. In a way, but the teams that did get there, they deserve to get there as well.
So was there?
I mean, you look at the Norway game at Wembley. We had them beaten, and the guy sticks his shot on left foot. The guy puts a ball in the goal from top hand corner. It was an incredible goal. What can you say? You can't say anything. I mean, the next game was where Des pulled the guy down. Des was unlucky because, I mean, Des should have pulled his shirt harder before the guy entered the box. You know, a lot of people blaming Graham Taylor. I think that was very, very unfair.
A lot of people were blaming you as well.
Yeah, like yourself, James. I don't mind. They can blame who they want. I mean, I know I didn't play well in a lot of games. People expect a lot from me. Now they always expect to put on fantastic performances, and that's another thing I worried about in Italy and for England. If I don't play well, I don't play well. I'm not going to go and kill myself. I'm not going to jump off a bridge because I didn't play well.
The problem for Gazza, suffering from one injury after another, was that he wasn't playing at all.
Beh, devo dire di sì, abbiamo avuto parecchi problemi. Per fortuna li stiamo risolvendo. Il problema è che mano a mano che ne risolviamo se ne presentano altri.
Lazio's still waiting for Gascoigne, and while their season went from bad to worse, knocked out of the UEFA Cup, Gascoigne was still on the treatment table, still unable to prove himself.
I think I've let myself down on sometimes physical work. I get myself really fit and I work hard to get fit, then all of a sudden I just let it slip away a bit.
Inevitably, the transfer speculation began, but behind the weird and wonderful rumours, Lazio was still waiting for Gascoigne.
Sì, è giusto dire che per il momento Gascoigne è incedibile. La Lazio non ha fatto mai dei passi per cedere Gascoigne, la Lazio sta aspettando Gascoigne, spera di trovare quel grande giocatore che tutti conosciamo. Vediamo come va da qui alla fine del campionato, perché sarà solo il campo poi a decidere tante cose.
And by December he was back, proving his point on the field with a series of match-winning performances. It was Gascoigne's longest uninterrupted spell in a Lazio shirt, and he was finally answering his critics, within the press and within the club.
Around Christmas time, there was a game against Juventus. You scored a goal, you scored that amazing free kick. You had a run of about 7 games in a row where you played the full 90 minutes. Everyone was fainting left, right and centre. It was a golden period, probably the best period you've had so far in Italy.
Yeah, because I started to be myself a little bit more, and I started to like think, you know, I want to do it the way I had done with Terry Venables. And I know they won't let you, but I was saying, look, you know, your system's not working. Keep off me back a little bit. If the press wrote something that in England that wasn't true, Terry Venables wouldn't even, he'd say, oh, he's seen the papers, you know, what do you think? And I just went, nothing, and that was it. Stop it. Yeah, you got like people ringing up, like Mancini ringing up, Paul, what's happened? There's hell on. Yeah, I said, Richard, there's nothing true in it. Oh, the president's doing this and he's doing that, and Dr. Bartolini's not happy about this and that. So why don't you just think yourself, like the press are talking a load of shit? Take no notice and get off my back.
But the media had no intention of staying off Paul's back, and the much publicised brawl with a photographer proved the culmination of 2 years' relentless pressure.
Well, I mean, I haven't done anything bad in Italy apart from a burp. I've been a press man. I grabbed his round the neck, so I clogged him one.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I haven't done anything bad.
I don't know if you've had the team talk or whatever yet, but have you
The
got
press are really putting us down at the moment. They make me down. They will not just leave me alone. I don't know what I can do about it. I mean, look at Mason and Bianca, young kids, and I went to Euro Disney, and Mason was tired, and I said, it's funny, the kid's only 3 years of age, and you know, you have to tell a little kid like that when all these people are coming around with cameras, and you have to explain who they are, because otherwise he's going to start worrying. And he was tired, and I said, come on, I'll put you in the pushchair and I'll push you. He went, no, I don't want to be in the papers in a pushchair. 3 years of age. And I felt like crying for him. I was really upset with him. You know, Bianca, I don't want to be in the press. And they've got the kids like that at 3 and 4 years of age.
Into 1994, and things were going well for Gascoigne. His mentor at Tottenham, Terry Venables, had been appointed as the New England coach, and Paul was enjoying his best ever period for Lazio. But, as always, trouble was just around the corner. Gazza was injured in the Rome derby, and all the old tensions with Lazio reappeared.
I got a great period of about 14 games where I played really well, and I was enjoying it, and I thought, well, you know, I'm back to myself, and it was fantastic. Next thing I get injured. I get injured on my side. I go to England, I rest for 2 days. It was a game before the Denmark game. I come off with my hip, and I said to Lazio, I was really doing well at the time, can I stay in England one day to see my family? I don't think I'll be fit for Sunday. But I definitely wouldn't be able to train tomorrow. It's alright if I just take that day off and come back tomorrow. And they said no, and I couldn't believe it. I'd done really well for them, and this, you know, and I had told them, please, you know, when I need days off, it's not because I hate Lazio, I want to be out of Italy. It's because on my days off I like to do a bit of fishing or say and relax. The only way the players don't get the pressure I have. And they wouldn't do it, and eventually I took the day off, and I ended up getting a fine of £15,000.
Well, that was bizarre, because you got injured in the derby, and you were a hero, and all of a sudden you were like at this point where it was completely broken between you and Lazio.
Well, I think Lazio have got to understand now. This is the thing that I've said. I've sat back and took a lot of shit, and listened to a lot of people where I've took everything in and I haven't been myself, and it's been terrible. It's all about giving and taking. You kind of just want and not give. And that's what I felt. I thought they wanted, you know. I had to speak to the press, I had to speak to the TV, I had to sign everything that was put in front of us. I couldn't do this, couldn't do that, and put it 100% on the football field. And it was, for me, that was a want and not give. And every time I asked for something, I found it very hard at the end to ask.
Paul's problems at Lazio got even worse as once again his private life was dragged into the debate. His engagement to longtime girlfriend Cheryl leading to speculation that Gazza's love affair with Lazio was over. Things were getting out of hand.
And at that point, it looked like you were leaving. It looked like you'd reached the point where you'd walked out of a training session. There'd been another time where you turned up and you burst into tears, and there was this big thing. I mean, what was going on there? It must have looked to you as well that it was all over.
Well, you know, the odd tears are coming out again. I only hope that, you know, that I can handle these situations. At the moment, I am finding it hard. It's the only reason I'm in tears, because I'm a young lad. I've had it for 8 years and I'm a young lad, and I think a young lad shouldn't have to take all this. And I'm taking it. I'm taking it more than Lady Di. I'm taking it more than anybody I can think of in England. I'm taking a hell of a lot of pressure, and sometimes I can't cope with it. You know, I try to cope with it, and I hide behind the fact that I try and be funny and hide behind it, but at the end of the day, I can be a serious person.
Gazza's serious side won the day, and despite all the problems, it was agreed that he would stay on. But before he could get back to full fitness, he was struck by the biggest disaster of a depressing 2 years.
It started as just another training day at Lazio's Maestrelli practice ground, but the smiles were soon to turn to tears as Paul Gascoigne collapsed on the pitch. A seemingly innocuous tackle with a youth team player in a supposedly gentle five-a-side game left him writhing in agony. It was immediately obvious that the injury was serious. By the time Gascoigne reached the San Giacomo hospital in Rome, the press were already onto the story. After the mayhem of his admission, the Lazio camp gave their first reaction.
Well, during training football match, he had a tackle with another player, and he has broken his leg.
Playing a five-a-side, and it was 0-0 after about 15 minutes. It was hard, it was hot, and I let this player go, and he scored a goal. And the lad said, "Oh, wait," and I was upset at that. I didn't go mad, but I just thought, God, you know, I can't believe it. It was shattered, and they're really taking this five-a-side really, really serious. And next thing, the ball got loose, and I went in and put a strong tackle against a young lad. He's built a bit like a tank, and I come in from the side, but he got there a fraction before, and as he kicked the ball leg strong, I come across and hit him, and I went to the ground. I just felt a numbing sensation up my leg, and when I went to pick my leg up, my foot stayed on the ground, sort of thing. So as I picked that up, that just stayed, and I knew I could feel it being out part. It was a horrible feeling, and then that was it. The pain was worse than the ligament pain there, under my face. Every operation I've had, that broken leg was unbelievable. Because as we were walking to help is, one step was ahead, so it was like step, 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 step. And when he was stepping, it was like pulling my bones apart. I felt that sensation, and it was a horrible feeling. You know, and from when I got into the hospital, then I just wanted them to just put me asleep and just wake up with my leg being better again. I couldn't wait for it. Then I had to travel to England.
Thank you.
So I'm not taking any more photos.
No, fine.
And the airplane, broken leg, and I was in agony, and I just couldn't wait to get on and take photos, you know.
Surgeon John Browett, the man who rebuilt Gascoigne's knee in 1991, again performed emergency surgery. But as the broken leg began to heal, the press had a new story, the breakdown of Gazza's love life.
Yeah, we had broke up and things like that, and then I felt really bad. You know, I was injured, I was a bit fed up at the time, and you do get depressed, and you know, after 11 operations, and you know you've got another year's work ahead of you, you feel lost again. I have to relax more. I'm not relaxing enough, James, and I'm getting really built up, and then as soon as Shell says something to us, I was taken out of her. Where the people I should have been taking it out on, I didn't. I knew I had done something bad, and I was talking to people saying, "Why am I like this? Why am I like that? Is it because the press are making me mad, or is it because then I'm not insecure myself and I'm taking out the person that is closest to me and that I love?"
Gazza had been taking things out on Cheryl, and a couple of months later, he revealed all in a dramatic confession.
Cheryl was getting lost. It's not fair for a woman to take that.
Is that why you decided to make it public?
Yeah, because I wanted to be man enough. I wanted to be man. Like I said, I wanted to change, sort of, instead of hiding behind everyone's back, come out and be myself. I looked at it, I read it. I even was in charge of the headlines.
Yeah.
I'd done everything. So it's over with now. If I didn't want to do it, I wouldn't have put it in the papers. Well, at the moment, you know, I don't know what will happen by the time this tape comes out, but we're still good friends. Shell's.
You still talk?
Yeah, Shell's in Italy now, having a couple of holidays at the villa, a couple of weeks holiday.
Yeah.
And we're going to go away for a few days together in France. It'll be nice. And then obviously the kids are going to come out, Shez, for a couple of weeks with me, and we're still good friends. You know, it's not a problem. We don't know what will happen in the future, but at the moment we're both happy the way things are going, and I'll just keep it like that. Now it's up to me, and I want to be a top class player, and I want to get fit again. I just don't want to have any more injuries.
Ancora uno.
Ok. Se mi sto male. Qui.
Qui dietro, no? Vabbè, quello è il pallone medicinale. Vai. Senza.
When you're on your own working like this, you feel like no one gives a shit about you until you're playing again. You know, they've got other things, and that's hard. You think no one cares. You think, you know, that you're not going to play again. Loads of things go through your mind. You know, you feel very lonely. You know, once you get through and come to the end of the tunnel, it's not too bad. When I come to the end of the tunnel, it's not too bad, you know. That tunnel's about 5 months away.
2, 1, via. Stop.
It's a nice day, Robbie, yeah?
Today, Paul is once again fighting a lonely battle back to fitness while his teammates prepare for the new season. Perhaps the one thing that helps his isolation is that today, at least they speak the same language.
And I've been out here a couple of years. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I understand more than I speak. But I just listen to the guys. When I tried to learn in England, it was difficult because I was taking a lesson for an hour and then I would go down to the pub with the lads and speak to the lads. And the next day, I forgot everything. Where we are, because you're around them all the time, you start to pick it up more.
Do they learn English as well?
The lads,
yeah.
They know swear words. And a few
I've
swear
that,
words.
actually.
Yeah, you noticed that. You've seen it. No. Eccolo, lo vedi. Cough. Questa ti... Poi anche usa mano.
Cough. Stupid.
Hai visto, Timo? Mezzo il campo un po'. Dove... Perché non cross, man? Perché non cross prima volta? Come l'anno scorso, se non cross, attaccante mai via. Mai via, ha detto basta, io non vai perché il pallone mai entra in area. Va bene, Chris. Tempo, Chris. Watching the match, man.
As the 94-95 season approaches, there's a new man in charge at Lazio, the glacial Czech coach Zdeněk Zeman. He might be surprised to know that Paul too harbours managerial ambitions.
People think I wouldn't be good as a manager because the way I joke and clown about. I have got ways how I think the game should be played, and I do think seriously about being a manager when I'm finished. I want my players to relax, and I would want them to enjoy the football. Enjoy it. If they're not enjoying it, well, there's no way they can perform, and I would want them to enjoy it, and have respect for each other. That's important, to have respect for yourself and to have respect for your players around you and what they're capable of doing. Bravo, Diego! Diego!
But for now, Paul has to concentrate on his future as a player.
I will look hard in January when I get back playing again, and at the end of the season I will definitely think what I want to do now, whether I want to stay in Italy or whether I want to go back to England or whatever, you know. World Cup is when I'm 31. If I still feel I want to play football and things like that, then we'll look at that. After then I might just go away for a couple of years, just keep out of England for a couple of years, just get my mind right again, you know, because they're absolutely driving me nutty.
After 2 years, Italy is still waiting for Paul Gascoigne to prove his greatness, and they'll be waiting for a while yet. A further operation is required this October before Paul can return to the field at last and deliver on his promise.
Now it's just a matter of getting the operation over, getting back to really top class fitness, enjoying myself and listen to the right people and do what I think's best for Paul Gascoigne. I want my health, I want to be walking again without crutches. You know, I'm fed up of using them. I want to be running about like a big kid. My football is the only thing I know. I don't know anything else. But if you're on about superstitions, John Moncur's got 2 fantastic ones. You all know John Moncur, he's joined West Ham now. And if you ever see him, he's in the car. Right? And he comes in and he said, my thumbs are really hurting this morning. I said, why is that? He said, I travelled 200 miles last night. You know the lamppost in the road, in the motorway? In between each lamppost, he touches the steering wheel 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. If you have a look at his fingers, right, they're chubby, but his thumbs are as muscly as hell. And the other one he's got is, I mean, I would never get to that stage where he gives it that all the time. So if you're watching any of the West Ham players, look out for John Moncur's habits.
Boy. But it works for him.
It works for him, it gets him out of his head.
He's still alive, anyway.
He's still alive, his neck's very stiff and his face a bit twisted.
He's got big thumbs.
But his thumbs are...
Fittest thumbs in British football.
Steve, you got any...
He dribbles on his thumbs.
On the thumb, mate. Have you had a look through the list? And there's nothing we've missed.
Thank you. Ahora mangi.
You mangi?
Fruit.
Fruit. Chicken.
God, you are my God. I believe in you. You are my God.
Thank you.
You are my God. I love you.
You're my God.